Pranayama practice. I think everyone wants to learn breathing practices these days because they are stressed or because they have a irregular sleep cycle or their breathing pattern has gone for a toss. They have one or the other issues related to the mind. They think, okay, if I control the mind through the breath, I'll be able to control everything. No, that's not how it works. First, you have to control the breath, then you can control the mind. 9 must read yoga books. Book number 3, Light on Pranayama. I have no words to describe this book. Again, I got this book 13 years ago. Everything that you have to know with respect to pranayama practice, this is the book for you. You know how you start? You start the practice of asana. You first start with just the warm-up practices. You loosen up, then you do some standing asanas. You start with Surya Namaskara, and so on and so forth. You grow ahead on the path of practice of asana, and then you grow. The same exact routine is given in this book written by BKS Iyengar, which is known as Light on Pranayama. There are a lot of books. I'm not suggesting books from Iyengar just because I'm his student, but this one just blows every other book away completely, and this just blew my mind. The depth of knowledge the person needs to have in order to write a book like this is unimaginable. 30-40 years of practice. This is a culmination of 30-40 years of practice, and that's not something that you can get every single day. That's exactly why I have so much of respect, for BK Iyengar, and I'm happy that I'm, one of his student. Nah, I'm not a direct his disciple, but unfortunately, I didn't have an opportunity to learn from him in person. But all his teachings are engraved in the form of writings, in the form of books. A very, very beautiful book that starts to explain all the do's and don'ts that you have to keep in mind if you're starting your journey on the path of pranayama. If breath control, if managing the breath, listening to the breath is your thing, this is the only book that you'll need for the next 15 years. Yeah, mark my words when I say 15 years. After initially introducing to the practice of pranayama, he even explains about pranayama and respiratory system in the very 4th chapter, like how the respiratory system works and how it functions and what is it you have to keep in mind, how you have to mentally be aware of the position of the lungs and how to go about this. And then he talks about something called as the art of pranayama. This is a must read. The second part, or the second section of the book, known as the art of pranayama, talks about how you have to sit, how the skin has to be placed on the blanket, which tip of the finger has to touch the part of the nostril. Very detailed explanation, or I'd rather say very subtle explanation as to how one has to practice pranayama, has been very beautifully explained by Iyengar with pictures. I have no words to explain this. He even says where you have to practice pranayama, which is the right place, which is the right time, which is the right kind of clothing that you have to wear. And mark my words when I say, if you're someone who's been doing shavasana for quite some time, you read the shavasana practice written in this, only then you'll understand, okay, I have absolutely no idea about what shavasana is. He talks about position of the hand, symmetry of the body, like how the body has to be placed when you lie down as a dead person. There are about 10 pages of explanation as to how you have to do shavasana. Can you believe that? This just blew my mind. Completely blew my mind. And then they talk about what are the different preparatory practices that you have to do in order to practice pranayama. And then he gives the detailed explanation of all different types of pranayama. Shitali, Shitkari, Bastrika, Brahmari, Anuloma, Viloma, everything. And along with this, see, suppose you're someone who's starting practice of pranayama. It's not that you sit and then you're able to practice pranayama for minutes together. No. You'll be probably able to practice pranayama for a couple of seconds. He takes you through different stages. In this book, he has divided the practice into 3 stages. Stage 1, Stage 2, and Stage 3. It's like beginner, intermediate, and advanced. If I speak any more about this book, it's going to be of no use. Why? Expansion of life can only happen when you actually experience it yourself. That is exactly what this book is all about. Read it and feel blessed. Start your practice. If you have any queries as to how you have to start practicing pranayama, how to go about it, I made a lot of videos about the same. Go to the playlist, check it out. I'll also attach the link in the description. Start your pranayama practice today. So I hope this was informative. Do let me know your views and about how you felt with respect to this book after you give it a read. I'll attach a link for this in the description. Purchase it, have this for your life. So if you found this useful, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you feel this was worth your time, share it with another person who'll find it a blessing to have this. And I'll see you in the next one.